There we go. Grab these, because I'm going to need them. Don't think I can draw that one on straight. Alright, let me figure out what I was doing with this. And this was a whole project in of itself. M1, M2. Kind of like M1 more. That's all that. Oh, now I know what I was doing with this. Damn, it was ages old. Put that down. And we got pretty much the same stuff as usual. Just down to like 40. Yeah, I might just redraw this. Wrong layer. Alright, I probably don't have to redraw, I just need to adjust what I was doing. So, let me try something. Not save it, let's reopen it. So there's you two. Let's do this. Let's turn off U2. Let's focus on this one. Let's see. Done this. And it seems to be alright. Could probably lessen a bit. That's 7, should be fine. Yo. Level 2. Guess it's okay. Let me see how this looks if I do this. Kind of like the old one more. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, let me bring up the original art. So I drew this ages ago. I think I did it on stream too. I just hadn't posted it. So now I'm just tweaking it a bit. I'm probably going to use the tweaked version. So now I'm just making adjustments. Probably going to erase some of this because I don't need it anymore. Hello, Pablo. So let's see what I don't need. So definitely gonna erase all this outer stuff. This one's more of a mom character. But like I drew this one ages ago, like I think I streamed it and I just never posted it because I was experimenting with different shading methods on it. And so kind of want to finalize her look now. So I'm going over and like, because I've learned a few things since then, so now I'm trying to get rid of stuff I don't need so I can use it, so I can finish it up. I did it last year. Jesus, it's been a year already. I mean, obviously, but still, like, damn. But yeah, let's erase stuff that I don't need to have on her. I might tweak her hair if I need to. Oh, I can figure that out. Let me just go to her file. Properties. It was Valentine's Day, according to this. Valentine's Day of last year. That's when I first started drawing it, and it was modified on the 22nd, so that was probably when I was experimenting with it. Jesus. Yeah, let's get rid of the stuff I don't need to have on her. Because some of this stuff is shiny for almost no reason. I mean, I could probably make the ribbon shiny, but let's just erase it all so I can adjust it more thoroughly. And like technically her fur could be shiny, but let's just get rid of that just to be more consistent. Okay. So let's make some changes to this. So the bright side for all this is that because of the way I layer everything, it's easy for me to go back and be like, okay, what can I change? And then there it is. I can just go through. It's not like a random process. Baker Becky, you think her ass is gonna be cooking anything other than eggs? She probably only knows how to cook eggs and that's it. I could see Pax like being the cook of the relationship, and like before that happens, he's all like, "How have you been surviving?" And she just glances over at all the fucking fast food packages. Ooh, I do not like how I did that. Need to be more subtle stuff like this. This is okay to have it. I can boil water. Shine on her. On her cheeks. I mean, it like realizes it's a comic or something. That's interesting. Yeah, her apron should probably just say "eat it or get out" or something like that. Or like, if you can do better, you put this on. So yeah, I can have that ribbon be shiny. Or nah, I think I'm more keeping it as like a non-shiny cloth would be better. That way it matches the ones on our arms and waist. I made the eggs myself. That would be funny. Let's erase all the shines that I did on her braids. I don't think I have to do the ones on the edge. But I want to make the shine more subtle. I'm gonna tweak this one too. What type of animal is this character? She's a fox. Or at least I'm assuming she's a fox based off of certain features. Fox just makes more sense. Like sometimes the adopts I get like the vaguest descriptions, and or sometimes they don't even say they don't even say what they're based off of or what their reference is. Right, let me see if I could find who designed her. And sometimes they don't even have like the artist name. Okay, I know who that is, so let me find out and see if they marked them at all. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Because at least I mean, I know this still happens, but I think it's been being like phased out. But back in the day, when you did adoptables, you would have like a whole description of the character and stuff like that, kind of to like help out the design in terms of like, okay, I'm selling this character, here's what the story about this character is. You give it to the person, and the person can like adjust it any way they want or whatever, and that was it. Okay, yes, she is a fox. According to this, she is a fox. But yeah, like back then you would get like a whole like detailed story about the character, and then you would go from there. Nowadays it's just design the character, toss their ass out, and then I don't know, pray. I mean, it makes sense because it's like, you know, people are gonna adjust things anyway. Why bother making a story? But sometimes people want a story with the characters they adopt. But most of the ones, if not all of them, that I've adopted don't have any story. I think like maybe 2 has had a story. Maybe more than that, but other than that, the majority have not had like a detailed background, which is fine because I can just make up shit myself. I mean, realistically, I don't even need to adopt characters. I could always just draw my own. But the mindset I have when it comes to certain adopts, I'm like, no, you're coming with me. Can't let this design get wasted. And 2, like, it's taken me a while to get through them. But I at least try to plan out a good chunk of them for what I want to use them for. You know what, let's just erase these just so I can redo it. But I've been trying to have a good chunk of them appear in like the side comics and stuff like that. I try to go to various different places for adopts. But a majority of them has come from For Infinity, from a specific group called Soda. So that's where a majority of them have been coming from. I don't like how that looks. Be a little bit more. a little better. Yeah, let me grab their link just so, in case you want to look around. Notes. Sometimes you can get the characters cheap. Copy. It's mostly like a who can get them first type of thing. Because like, let's just say like they start at 30, so you put in 30, and like the upgrade or the as it goes up, like let's just say $5. So you bid 30, somebody bids 35, and then it goes from there until either somebody hits the limit, which could be like, let's just say $200 for example. So either somebody hits the limit or they automatically do the limit automatic. Like someone just says, "Fuck it, I'll pay the full amount." And then some of the artists will be like, "Oh, if you pay this amount, then you'll get a character or a character reference sheet or a naked version of the character or something like that." So just depends on what you want to do. Did I blur your lines or not? I want to say yes, but I probably did something weird. And I did. Okay. That's why it looked all weird. Normal. Why are your lines like this? No, really, why are your lines like this? Okay, hold on a second. There we go, that's why. Let's toss that one out. Now, do I want to do the trick that I saw recently? Let's give it a try. This is not what I was thinking. But then again, I probably did it wrong. Huh. Wait. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch the video again about how to do this. I think I know how, but we'll try it again another day. Okay, anyway. I think I got everything I wanted, so let's tweak your lines. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of this nonsense. This can stay. Since this is already on a different layer, might as well just do it this way. Wait, what? Oh, I see what I did. Just had a random idea. Skylar hosts a pie baking contest and makes Marcy the judge. Oh dear lord. like stuff like that, like ideas like that feel more suited for different characters, because realistically I can't see Marcy like participating in contests and stuff like that, because she's just more kept to herself realistically as a character. Like, yeah, I can see her being a little sassy every once in a while about, you know, being confident and in eating a shit ton of food nowadays because, you know, Skylar basically made her ridiculous in terms of that kind of trait. But I can't really see her doing stuff like that on her own. I mean, yeah, she can be motivated by Skylar. But this is my thoughts on it. But I would save ideas like that for different characters because it's not because the idea itself is not bad. I just I would just for me personally, I would pick a different character. And it might be because I feel I'm like in a weird middle line of feeling whether or not Marcy has been overused. So it could be something like that. And who is texting me? Hold on a moment. Because nobody texts me at this late, so who is texting me? Ah. Interesting. Wait, Green Drive? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the lore for the series has probably going to be shifted a bit because a number of things have changed. Let's listen to a robot again. That's some bitchin' music. Let's avoid playing those again. There we go. Yeah, it's funny because Marcy's only been done to death in terms of like, I mean, obviously her comic was pretty damn long, but she definitely shows up a lot in like side content. Yeah, yeah. It's just a matter of I have to spend time on the new characters to get, you know, people used to them too. So it makes sense on why Marcy gets the attention that she gets. Happy Wednesday to you too. So yeah, I 100% understand, and that's why I'm working on comics like Secrets with Caitlin and all that because it's like, you know, try to give the other characters attention, and then, you know, Andy and Emerald and Joanne. Nope, she is a fox. But yeah, I understand why Marcy gets the attention that she gets. But it'll change over time once other characters get more screen time and blah 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 blah. Alright. Hold on. Grandman would be fun. Sorry, just texting a friend, letting them know I'm streaming. What would happen if Violet met Skylar? Nothing unless you wanted them to fight, and if they did, Violet would kick his ass. Thank you, though she is old at this point because I drew her last year. All right, so I think I did everything needed for that. So now let me do the stuff that I've learned recently. So you merge. I'm just gonna put them all in the same folder. And again, I probably won't do this every time, but I'm still experimenting. Yeah. Like the characters I'm pumping out, most of them have just already had designs and stuff like that, and it's just more like me drawing them in my style or updating existing characters. But yeah, the ones that I need to focus on are the ones I have plans for already. So like Joanne, Andy, Emerald, of course, and then need to get back into like Buckle and World Gates and all that. So I think I'm just gonna make the bios and stuff of characters that I've already have like drawn and stuff like that, and then focus on the stuff I need to focus on. Anyway, do you're about 20. A little too red, so let's just adjust it down to like 10%. Yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, Bowser's definitely a dope. Yeah. And eventually I will do more with Marcy and Skylar. I'm just trying to venture into other characters first. Like, I still want to do the comic where Marcy's mom sees her fat for the first time. Or them meeting each other's parents. And then, of course, there's other encounters with them, like with Blake coming back and stuff like that. 2. And then of course it needs to make bios for like the monsters and villain characters and stuff like that too. And then eventually Joanne will get another bio update at one point. Once shit hits the fan with her. Let's erase some of that I don't need. Or you know what? It's better if I do it this way. Some of this. There we go. Okay. For art size. That's not too bad. Pull it out just a little bit. Let's see. Get rid of this. I think I have a grid. Let me check. What's this? I don't know if I want to use that. You know what? Why not? I don't think it's something I use that often. This is not bad. Let's see if there's anything else. This was not bad either. Kinda like this one more though. But let's put something else on top of it. Let's try you. This one's not bad, but I want it lighter. Let's see. It's mostly just the circles I want adjusted. That one's okay. Which one was that one? Linear. I think this is fine. Doesn't need to be overly complicated. And she's basically done. I don't think there's anything else I need to do to her. So yeah, some adjustments compared to her other versions. Yeah, I can still save it. I'll just save it as in the same file. Because I can bring in these two. That is not the button I pressed. Right, where the hell are you? Oh, there you are. So like there's this version of her, and then there's this one. So yeah, slight differences between the three, but I think the middle one has the adjustments I was looking for, and it also sticks with her pattern that she had originally. And I'll just turn these off. I'm not going to delete them because they have methods that I was experimenting with. Actually, I can move this down so that way it doesn't get in the way. And then I can move that over. There we go. Triple moms. Oh, that would be funny. Where it's like triplets, but they all take turns being mom. That'd be funny. Who knows? Maybe I will use that. Probably not, but can always use that for a different character. There is a similar thing with two twins that I've had planned. I might change their designs though. I'm not too happy with their current look. Alright, so all that's left is to mark it. Let's open yours so I can grab them easier. Go. Okay, so Francine is officially done. She should have been done ages ago, but now she's officially done. Let me export her artwork just to hammer down that she's done. Oh yeah, I still need to put them up on Dropbox. I'll do that after the stream. And then make her variants. Version. Export. There we go. One lucky husband with triplet wife. If I were to do that, the only thing I'd have to worry about is like the knowledge between the three of them, like who knows what. Because like if you talk to one about something and then the other doesn't know what you're talking about, that could be an issue. Unless I like give them the ability to have shared knowledge. Or it could be like, I mean, she is a fox, so what if she just has the ability to make up to 2 more copies of herself? And then it's kind of like that whole Naruto thing where they have shared knowledge once the clones disappear, but instead of them disappearing, it's just like a hive mind thing. Like they just automatically know what the others know. And then like, I don't know, let's just say whatever one experiences, they all experience it at the same time. So let's just say one goes shopping for groceries, one goes, I don't know, clothes shopping or whatever, and then the other one's at home, and then the husband, you know, has his way with the one at home, and then the other 2 are like, you know, orgasming in public. like out of nowhere. So yeah, I could do some shit like that. Why not? That sounds fun. So yeah, maybe that's her. That will be her gimmick. Where, and like maybe the copies are just slightly off color, just to slightly tell the difference between them. So that's why you get like this one that's more gray, this one that's more blue, compared to the default greenish one. So yeah, that could be the thing. Maybe I'll like, yeah, I'll save this version too of 3 of them. So let me just adjust their positions, just so this makes sense. So let me move this one over a bit, and then I think this one's kind of fine where she is, but let's just move her just a little bit more. The one in the middle seems to have the most space, so just adjust her just a little. And then let's try something. So for you two, merge. Let's turn these off. Put these two together. Because I mostly want to tweak how they're standing. Let's adjust it more. It's about here, I think. Say, or do that, do that. That might be a little bit too much for what I want. So let's move this down to about here. How's that look? Yeah, that's fine. So I'll save out this version of them, just to kind of like have a tease of it. Maybe adjust their opacity just a tad. Just so she stands out more still. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, Jesus. That would be a handful. Okay, so here's a extra version of this that I'll post later. So yeah, she just has the ability to make copies of herself, and that could be like her innate aura ability, similar to like how Skylar has the whole cooking thing. So she could just make more of herself, because the whole point of it was to, like, you know, be able to do more in a day. But of course, other kinks kick in for what that skill can be used for. She's like, oh yes, now I can get more done in a day. And then her husband's like, I have other ideas. Kind of like Nurse Joy. Yeah. Runs a cafe by herself, maybe. Yeah, that could be what the other one was. So one goes grocery shopping, one runs like a small business that they have, and then the other one stays at home to tend to house chores and all that. But then the one at home is the one that gets done by the husband, and the other two are like shit. Because they're all linked. Okay, save. And then again, like, they're all like slightly off color, just so you can tell the difference between them. But like, if they weren't all like in the same place, you wouldn't be able to tell. And it can also be like there could be like two comics to this at least. There could be one where all of them are like separate, trying to do things during the day, and that's when the husband, goes after the one at home, and then the other two get affected. And then the other comic could be like, I don't know, all three get revenge. I mean, it's all the same person, but like she gets her revenge by going at him with all three, just destroying him in bed. So anyway, yeah, that's Francine Rogers. So yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind, and I'm pretty sure I'll remember if I have this image up. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do with her. I mean, I can always write this down. It's not like I don't usually forget anyway. And if I do, it was probably not a good idea anyway. Alright, so done to save you. So they're done. Is there anybody else whose files that I can actually mess with? The other, well, I can probably mess with this one. How much time do you got? Yeah, I can try to finish up this one. So here's Pam. Was working on her during a stream as well. Oh yeah, I remember that now. Hold on a moment. I might have to censor this. So let me just blink this for a moment. So I don't mess that up. Okay. Turn that back on. There we go. And then just adjust this. I could have sworn I was further along on this, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Alright. Let's see what I was doing with her. This small ass skirt. I mean, you know what? Let's be honest. This skirt should be higher up. Like right underneath the ass. Say, baby, hold on. The news is coming on. It's like, sweetheart, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just watching the news. Milkies. Be like, the ratings for a show have been going up. Oh, that's good. I want like people are really into the news. Yeah, the news. People really love the news. Let's see, just bunched up the way it is in the reference. But yes, people are clamoring to watch the news. kind of want to tweak her face a little bit. I think it's mostly just the chin part. Yeah, that looks nicer. So let's move it out. Give it like a slight jaw. I can see the producers being like, "Oh, Pam, that skirt seems a little bit too long. Try to shorten it." She's like, "Oh, really?" Like, yeah, we don't want you stumbling. I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." It's like, and if you look behind me, you can see that it's big, massive, and round. And everyone's like, "Yes, it is." And I don't know. She's like talking about a spear or something. It's like, what was she talking about? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. She's probably talking about a meteor hitting right towards us. And people will be like, what? Reminds me of Dale's wife. Isn't her name Francine? No, that might be... Is it Francine? God damn it, I'm pretty sure it is now. Or am I thinking of... No, I think I'm thinking of American Dad. That's what I'm thinking of. Nancy, that's her name. That's why it blended together. That's how little I've cared of the character. I didn't even remember her damn name. I think like the one time she was interesting was when she changed news stations, and so she wouldn't be near her family as much, and so she ended up going like fucking crazy because she was like all power hungry and stuff, and she was starting to get drunk. But Dale's nonsense is what balances her out, because she's too tired to do anything crazy because she deals with Dale. Or I love where Dale catches John Redcorn and her, and he's like, "Hey, I know what you two are doing," and he's like, "Oh, Dale, let me explain." He's like, "You were touching my mower." It's like, and he's all like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Of course I'm serious. Now get inside and heal my wife." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And that's when John Redcorn's like, "Okay, he's fucking with us, right?" He's like, "There's no way he doesn't know." That shit was funny. I fucking love King of the Hill. Yeah, he's taking the fun out of this. Oh yeah, that whole scenario is just fucking funny. Can't believe I couldn't remember Nancy's name. That's just how little I've cared about the character. I mean, to be fair, she doesn't really do anything for most of the series. But yeah, And honestly, even if Dale did know, which I mean, to be fair, he probably does. He just doesn't give a shit. Like even if he did know, I don't. It wouldn't keep him from, you know, being a father to Joseph. And it's clear that he loves Joseph, so I don't think it would change anything. Might make conversations with him and his wife interesting, but other than that, I don't think it would ultimately change anything. Actually, let's leave this like that. Just have it stretched. It could be that the belt is part of the skirt. Big Burger CEO. No, she's not the CEO. The Big Burger CEO is a wolf. I just haven't designed her fully. I drew like a headshot of her and that was it. Let me see if it's something I can post or show. Let me check. If it's not, I can probably adjust it slightly. Just so. Let's see. I was drawing it, but excuse me, but I never finished it. Because I knew it wasn't finished, but I could have sworn I was further along than this, but apparently not. Where are you? Man, there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't post. Or haven't posted. Oh, there she is. Okay, hold on, let me blink the screen for a moment. Because I need to adjust a few things. Let me just blank all of this out. Okay, so let me turn this back on. Okay, so here's the CEO of Big Burgers. She needs some adjustments, but basically the main idea that I had, but might tweak her to look a little better. Oh, I did name her. Okay, I have to remember that this one has a name. Because I made the mistake with Selena that I gave her a different last name than what she says in one of the comics. And I was like, her new last name's better anyway. Plus, the comics are probably going to be retconned at this point. So, it's okay. No, it didn't crash. I just misremembered and probably didn't draw as much as I thought I did. He did talk about a weight gain thing where a girl gains weight. Yeah, that was taking the idea from the Tiffany weight gain drive and applying it to another character. Because canonically, Tiffany doesn't get that fat, so So it would have to be given to another character. But anyway, this is the CEO, so she'll probably get an adjustment over time. Do not save. Help if it would help if I was using the correct color. Do I want her arms on her hips, or do I want her? Yeah, her hips would be fine because her arms are already out. So let's pull this out a little bit more. There we go. And I can also see like this character like trying to be like, you know, legit with the news, and just risque stuff happens around her, or she ends up doing lewd things without realizing it. She's just more focused on trying to do a good job. Because you're doing it as like, and it is summer, and then they have her in a fucking bikini. That, or she gets splashed with a shit ton of water. Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm a serious news reporter, and everyone else is like, what? Because they're too busy looking at her assets. Tons of angry letters from housewives. I can see some women being pissed at her. She's like, what? What did I do? If I ever did that, that would be like the realization that people don't watch her for the actual news. I don't know if I'd ever do that to her. Don't want to like break her reality, at least not that soon. I was like, damn. That'd be soul crushing though, if you're like really committed to a job only to realize that what you're doing is completely pointless, or wasn't even relevant to begin with. That'd be messed up. Which unfortunately that happens a lot in animation. Hell, it happened with me when in just college working on a 3D project and realizing that the hours that I spent working on the C or on the model, and in the final result you see a corner of the room that I was working on and maybe like a door handle that was used in another scene. That's it. All the shit that I worked on, you see a corner of it. And not even anything relevant, it's just the top of the room and maybe like the edge of a chandelier, and that was it. Because I had spent time working on a table, a chimney, different trinkets and stuff like that, just a whole bunch of shit, only for that entire room to be irrelevant. I think I have pictures of it. If I do, where would they be? Oh, let me check in here. Chimney room. Do I have them? Do I have any pictures of it? I still have all this stuff, but I don't think I have any renders saved out. No. I just have their textures and all that still. Yeah. What about this? Nah, none of this is relevant to what I was talking about. Yeah, I have it here, but I don't have anything rendered out, so I can't show you anything. Oh well. Then why do I have this? You know what? It could have been an older save. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I still have it apparently. I just can't do anything with any of this. Not without getting Maya. And then they wanted to make Zootopia. If they made Zootopia, that would be impressive. But no. I know, well, Disney almost got in trouble with fucking Zootopia, or I think they did, but it probably didn't pan out to anything. But I know they got sued for Zootopia because they stole it from another creator. But I don't think anything came from it because they changed it enough or some shit. I know they're getting in trouble with Moana for that because the creator for Moana tried to sue them for the first movie, but the statute of limitations already passed. But apparently the judge said that the guy did have a case, but he would have to wait for Disney to do something again, and then that's when they made Moana 2, and so now he's suing them again. So see what happens with that. Because apparently it's a thing where Disney will like contact you, or like say you pitched an idea to them, they'll pay you basically, and they'll give you a contract and pay you, but basically what it is that it's to prevent you from suing them later if they decide to use your idea without compensating you, because they'll take your idea and then change it enough where they don't have to pay you. And so that's a thing apparently, and I guess it's been a thing for like ages, but I guess it's been coming out more that Disney would do shady shit like that, where they basically just pay you once just to basically cherry pick your idea and then not pay you for when they actually use it. And I guess that happened with Treasure Planet as well, where one artist made basically everything that shows up in Treasure Planet, but they changed it enough that they didn't have to pay him. Live Moana? Maybe. It could. It's all I know is that the creator, yeah, it could be the live version, but all I know is that the creator had very specific details in his stuff that Disney could not have come up with on their own, type of thing. So, and it mostly had to do with the whole magic hook thing. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I mean, let's be real here. Disney has so much fucking money that they can just drag out the court thing until the guy runs out of money and he can't continue. because unfortunately that's how the court system works, where it's not about whether or not you're right about owning something, it's about how much money you have to even fight it, which is bullshit. But if he's able to get like lawyers who will do it pro bono or do it until they win type of thing, then I don't know what else can happen from that, because all that shit costs time and money. It's not a good system. Because it sucks when you have a case, but the only thing preventing you from winning the case is money. It makes zero sense. And then sometimes, even if you are in certain cases, like even if you are in the right about something, the only thing that makes it difficult is everybody else's morality around it. Where it's like, well, yeah, he's right about this, but I don't like that, blah 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 blah. And I was like, it's not about whether or not you like it; it's about whether or not they're correct in the stance that they're taking. But I don't know. It's either money related or bullshit bias. A woman's husband died from eating something at Disney. Oh, yeah. Because of the terms of service. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was stupid. I thought it was the woman who died. Like, the woman was allergic. Because I think it was like the woman was allergic to like certain nuts or something like that, or a certain ingredient in like a salad or something like that. It was the wife. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that whole scenario was stupid. It's like, even if that was in the terms of service, that's still not a good look. Which is stupid anyway, because it's like, why would that even be a thing? And yes, I'm giving her bigger booba. They denied the kid from having Spider-Man on his tombstone. That's stupid too. If that's true, that's stupid. That should not be a thing. Like, I understand, but it's still dumb. Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody to have a fucking Spider-Man on their tombstone. Unless it's like something really ridiculous, but that shouldn't be a problem. Couldn't sue because he's... Yeah, that was stupid. Because, like, even though companies put clauses like that in their contracts, not everything they put in their contract can be held up in court, regardless of if somebody signed for it or not. And sometimes courts will stay true to that. They'll be like, yeah, they signed that, but that's still stupid. Or they'll also side with the whole, like, okay, it's very unrealistic for people to even see this clause or understand it, because sometimes certain contracts will be written so vaguely that even if you were to read it normally, there's a good chance you wouldn't understand that of what they're trying to tell you. So, like, for example, let's just say, oh, you can get a free drink, but you can't get water. And it's like, but it says free drink. It's like, yeah, but water is excluded from that And plus, water's not a drink; it's a blah blah blah. Like, you know, if they did some stupid shit like that, then a court would normally be like, no, that's just stupid. Let them drink the fucking water. So it's one of those scenarios. Anyway, hopefully whatever needs to happen happens. Look at this for a moment. Okay, yeah. Let's adjust this. Because compared to her artwork, her hair is like really out there. So are her horns. I guess I'll leave it alone. It's one of those things where it's like, it's mostly because of the way I drew it that it looks a certain way to me. I'll just have to pay attention more to that in the future. I do think I should make her eyes a little bit more narrow. At least on this side. So let's adjust this. Don't want her to look angry, I just want it to soften it up a bit. Again, if that ever fucking happens, good lord, the things I would do with Sega. I'll be like, alright, we need to get our heads out of our asses and make some good shit. It's like, you guys dropped the ball with Amy, because she was basically supposed to be the Minnie Mouse of Sonic games, but that didn't happen. And now people know Sonic more paired with Sally than most characters. Yeah, Amy is up there every once in a while, but we all know that there was nothing there. And that's okay, Amy doesn't need to be shacked up with him. Honestly, Amy makes more sense with Shadow if you do it right. But he barely interacts with her, so you gotta set that up first. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well. And then we will make the conductor's wife's name officially Cinnamon. I have been calling her Cinnamon, and I'm going to keep calling her Cinnamon. But we gotta make that shit official. Unless a better name comes up. But I mostly named her that way in contrast to Vanilla. So you have Vanilla and Cinnamon. do. To be a little bit further out. There we go. His first priority is ripping into Amy. The Zeddies are fine. They're just designed weird in terms of like what their function is. It's just like, okay, here's a bunch of demons, but they don't really do anything, and for some reason they can control machines. It's like, what? And there's like a magic conch that controls them. And I'm sitting there going like, what? Like, they just seem like an idea that wasn't fully fleshed out, or like they were meant for some other game, and they got tossed into Sonic for some fucking reason. Oh yeah, we'll make Rouge thick again. We'll definitely put Rouge back to normal. Be like, what the hell was wrong with us? Why would we wrong with you guys? Why'd you even do that? It's like you had perfection and then you just decided to fuck with it. Because, I don't know, somebody probably got offended. It's like, oh, why does this bat have big tits? And it's like, who the fuck cares? She has big tits and she's cool. And, you know, let's make her an actual fucking thief. Because they never clarify whether or not she's actually a thief. They just say that she is, but she never does anything. And we don't know if that was just like a front for her being a spy. It's like, oh yeah, she's supposed to be a spy, works for the government, and the jewel thief thing is just a fake background. Like, they never clarify on any of that. And then she never does anything related to her job. She does, like, they say that she's like getting intel and infiltrating stuff, but then it never pans out to anything. Like, it did for like, what, 2 games that it actually mattered that she was working for the government, and then the rest she just kind of says stuff and nothing happens. It's like, how are you a jewel thief and you don't do anything? Let's straighten this out a little bit. So yeah, hopefully she actually does stuff. She probably does a little bit in the comics, in like both Archie and IDW, but even then it's just like so minor that is not even relevant. And can say that she has buttons and knee for tie. Here. Okay, so I think for the most part she's done. Let's make her just a little bit bigger. Trying to leave some space for her as a card. That should be easy to do. That's fine. all this is fine. Maybe that one. Yeah, fuck it, let's just do Bomberman again. Can do all the other stuff later. Yeah, I'll play this song this time. Her hands seem to be on the white side, so leave those alone. Because in her concept art, she is more embarrassed, but that's just because of what she's talking about in the news. But in this picture, I'm just gonna have her look a little bit more confident. Yeah, she only has 2. Kind of like how Riley only has 3 fingers. Well, 3 fingers and a thumb, just like this character has 2 fingers and a thumb. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that I moved that. Let's make that look nicer. There we go, that's better. Clean this up a bit. Yeah, like they keep giving her shit that she never uses. I guess the closest thing we got was her car scene in Sonic Adventure 2, and then, you know, racing games or whatever, but it's just her car scene in Sonic Adventure 2, and that was it. That was the last time we saw it outside of like a racing game or something. And it's like, what the hell? It's kind of like how nobody knew that Amy was into the whole tarot card reading thing, and it took decades, and Ian Flynn, being like, you know, the crazy Sonic lore guy that he is, going like, hey, let's, you know, use that for Amy since she has it. And so they used it in Frontiers after God knows how long. And people were like, why does she have tarot cards? Like, because she's always had them. Or like some people, and it's weird because some fans get pissed off about that, where it's like, oh, Ian Flynn just like adds in all this stuff, like, oh, did you know Knuckles likes grapes, so let's do stuff with grapes. And it's like, why not? He likes it, you might as well use it. You don't have to be obsessive about it, but you can, you know, show that it's a thing about Knuckles. It's like, hey, it's something he's into. You don't have to go overboard and make grapes like part of his attacks or anything like that, unless you want to do something silly, but, you know, it's part of his character. Just like Tails liking mints. It's like, Tails likes mints, there's nothing wrong with that. But the whole point is that if you're gonna introduce information about a character, at some point you should probably use that information. Not just say it's there and then never do anything with it. I mean, it's funny because Shadow is like almost the opposite of that, where they tell you they gave you all of his abilities that he had in Sonic Adventure 2, and then after that game, they gave him extra shit that was never explained. It's like, oh, he has those inhibitor rings that give him a power boost, and it's like, at no point was that ever discussed that he had that ability until Sonic 06. Sonic 06 was the first time he ever does it. And then they did it again in Sonic X. Because if you look in Sonic Adventure 2, they're just regular armbands. That's it. He even gives Sonic gives one of them to Rouge, and they never like say anything about, oh, you know, this will make him stronger or blah 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 blah. They never point that out at all. And Shadow never attempts to, you know, remove his armbands in order to make himself more powerful. Because why would he not do that during the crisis that they were in if he knew he could do that? Granted, it could have been information that he gained during that fight, but it's never pointed out as that, or it's never presented as that was the case. Because originally Shadow was supposed to die in Sonic Adventure 2. He wasn't supposed to come back. And then the same can be said for Maria having an illness. In Sonic Adventure 2, it was never stated that she had an illness. Only that she was shot and killed. They gave her the illness later in Shadow the Hedgehog, the game itself. But in the original manual, it was never stated that she had that. And I'm talking about the Japanese manual too. It was never presented that she had an illness. Here's the hard part it's sticking with. All these detailed hair colors that she has. And then another thing is giving Shadow the ability to like teleport without an emerald, or using chaos powers without an emerald. It's like, he wasn't supposed to have any of these abilities without an emerald. Why are we giving them to him now? Because it's like, oh, well, we need him to do more than just whatever Sonic can do, so we'll just give him extra abilities. Just because. I mean, we'll never know on that, because Surge came way later. But, and then, like, again, like, them trying to make it look like Shadow and Sonic are rivals is a huge stretch, because they've never really been rivals. Most of the time, one of them gets misinformed about a situation, they battle each other briefly, and then once they're informed, that's it. Like, nothing more comes from that. I think I want to color some parts of the other ones with this. But, like, that's it. If anyone's the rival, it's supposed to be Knuckles. Knuckles makes way more sense. Well, at first they tried to say Shadow was a clone. Then they tried to say that now they're all like, okay, he has the genetic DNA from some kind of fucking space devil, which none of that fucking makes sense anyway, because it's like, okay, but why does he look like a hedgehog? Which they technically could explain if they go off of the whole, you know, Gerald Robotnik looking at ancient carvings and stuff like that, which they kind of did when they introduced Emerald, because Emerald was based off of ancient technology. And they could have said that the reason why Shadow looks the way he does is because they're going off of the ancient drawings of Supersonic battling Dr. Robotnik, which they do in Sonic 3, the game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But they never touch on it in that way, so for all we know, he's just a hedgehog with alien DNA, and they never express it further. Hey, Reza. But yeah, it's just the biggest problem that Sonic games have is that there's a lot of like seeds to a really good story idea, but because other people keep tackling it and not like the main person who's putting in these ideas, or even if they are putting in the ideas, for some reason they get, you know, they go a whole different direction. But you get all these ideas planted, and then you do the opposite, or you go far away from what they could have done with it. I see Shadow more like Piccolo. I can kind of see that. Because right now they're treating Shadow like he's fucking Vegeta. Which isn't the case at all, because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything with Sonic. Like, they fight briefly and then they're chill. And it's not about the whole like getting stronger thing that, you know, Goku and Vegeta do, because neither of the characters, neither Sonic nor Shadow, do anything to get stronger. There's no training, there's no anything. And then Knuckles doesn't do anything like that either. He's just protecting his island, and that's it. That's like the extent of this character, but that's mostly because of the whole Ken Penders bullshit. But yeah, it's all these like different ideas that could be interesting if you just had somebody be focused on it. It's like, have somebody look at everybody's lore, all the little small details that they've had, and then go off. And like, so far, Ian Flynn's like the only one who's been actually trying to make that a thing. Like with the whole Tails being bullied for his Tails thing. It's like, yeah, in the books we knew about that, but they never explained it in the games, or even in cartoons and stuff like that, and it wasn't until getting Tyson Hess and Ian Flynn to work on shit that we get any of this information. And me, I'm just sitting there going like, oh, hey, they did the thing. And I look like a crazy person, because to me, none of that is new. It's been information that's been around since the 90s, or whatever. And everybody else thinks it's new. And I'm just sitting there going like, Jesus fuck, is this how bad it is, where nobody knows this information? And I can understand, like, granted, all this stuff is in, like, years worth of content that either you're going to spend time to read on it, or you're just going to not know about because it's just not told to you. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's just like, Jesus Christ. The fact that old shit is considered new is sad. At least to me, but that's because I'm a fucking super fan. And I read, like, everything whenever I bought the game, so, like, me being the crazy fuck, I sat there and read the manuals. Because I always like reading about the story lore of characters. It's like, oh, did you know that Rouge and Big the Cat are fucking 18? At least originally? I think, like, Vector was like, what? Vector was either 18 or 21, one of the two. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Oh, he's 20. There we go. So yeah, and then the irony is that despite all the characters getting ages at a certain point, they decided to say fuck it and toss out all the ages. So now, technically, none of the characters have ages anymore. Which, if we're going off of Mickey Mouse logic, that makes sense because none of the characters were supposed to, like, you know, progress in age in terms of, like, cartoon antics. Because if you base it off of classic Sonic type of stuff, then yeah, it's supposed to be endless nonsense. But if you're trying to, like, show it in terms of, like, character growth, then they have to age at some point in order to at least show signs of development. How much does Big weigh? I have no idea. Let's find out. This is assuming they even say his weight. Because you gotta remember, some of this information could have been tossed out. According to this, he's... Is this serious? Is this like the actual... Okay, according to this site, he is 620 pounds, according to this. So let me see if there's like anything else that explains. According to this, he's 617. Jesus Christ, is this serious? What is this? Translate to. Come on. Come on, I right-clicked already. Thank you. What is this? Yeah, so I guess he's either 620 or 617 pounds, according to what I found. So he big. He big. So yeah. Not sure if that's relevant at all, because they never do anything with him. Or if they do, it's like very subtle, or he says like 2 words and that's it. Okay, so got those. It's not, just never knew the answer. Yeah. I mean, like, it could be relevant at some point. Like, it could be where, I don't know, a robot's trying to take on Big for some reason, and then Big just holds his ground, and they realize that they can't move him at all. Because he's so fucking heavy. Or they could do something goofy with them where he makes like a Duke Nukem reference because he's voiced by the actor who played Duke Nukem. So they could always do something like that if they wanted. Big weighs as much as 12 Amy's. I mean, he's big compared to everybody else. Everybody else is light as fuck compared to him. And then there's the whole vanilla concept, because it's like, okay, so parents can't exist in the Sonic world. Vanilla being the key source of this logic. And now it's just a matter of, okay, are other characters gonna have parents? Will Sonic have an official game version of a parent? Or are they just gonna keep the retcon because of Ken Penders? I mean, they can. I don't see why they couldn't give him parents, honestly. But if they don't want to, that's perfectly fine. Not when you draw everyone from Sonic. But yeah, it's like a whole clusterfuck of what the hell are we doing? And to be fair, some of the problems come from, you know, Ken Penders fucking with things. So I understand some of their hesitance with certain things, mostly Knuckles. But like, there's, again, at least when it comes to Knuckles and anything related to the Echidnas, it's going to be a situation where you got to really sit down and go over everything and find out what can and can't you mess with, so that way you don't have to deal with Ken Penders' bullshit. Because the only way it's ever going to get solved is either you find a storyline that Ken Penders hasn't touched with the Echidnas and go from there, or he passes away. Like, I can't really think of anything else that would help in that scenario, because it's been so thoroughly fucked with. But again, hopefully there's an answer to this problem, which I'm sure there is. It's just gonna take some effort. And then with Vanilla, I would just tease at like a possible past that she had, or like you could show it, but it'd all have to take place in the past. Just gotta emphasize that she's retired, but when she wasn't retired, she was just a total badass. Not sure what villain she would go up with. Probably Clutch, because he makes the most sense. But assuming Clutch wasn't around, either make a new villain for her to face, or it could be like the early days of Dr. Robotnik or something. And maybe that's like the reason why Dr. Robotnik kidnaps Vanilla. Because was there even a reason why he kidnapped Vanilla in Sonic Advance? Because I don't remember what the reason was. 6 years after Cream's birth, Vanilla be kidnapped. Yeah, she gets kidnapped twice, but they never say why. Yeah, I don't know what the reason was. That cow was nice milk jugs, honestly. Well, good, she better. But yeah, if there's a reason why Vanilla got kidnapped, then cool. But if not, then you could always make a story around when she was in her younger days, and that's why you could say Robotnik was in his young days trying to take over the world or something before, you know, Sonic and crew became a thing. And you could just say Vanilla was the one protecting the world or whatever. And then, you know, once she had Cream and all that, she retired, or even retired before that. And then that's why Robotnik went after her when she was like more vulnerable or something. Whatever you need to say to make it make more sense. But if there was no reason, then make one up. What are these? I'm going to move these over here. Still need to retire. Maybe. There was some information about Rudolph, like those Rudolph cartoons that I learned recently. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like done by a particular group. So they're like, I'll have to look it up again, because it's like, oh, did you know that these characters are technically Disney or something like that? It might have been something like that. Where did you get your average of 5? There should be more. 5 what? I don't know what 5 you're talking about. Why did I put your eyes on that layer? Yeah, I think they're tied to something else. That's what I'm trying to remember, because I know I heard of some information earlier. Yeah, because at least in the comics, they kind of make Vanilla hinted as like someone to fear, for fucking around with Cream. But like in the games at least, they never really hint at anything with her. She like existed briefly, but she like doesn't show up in the games outside of the advanced games and like spin-offs or something. And even then, it's so fucking brief that she doesn't really get to do anything. But like, my main thing was like, okay, why did Robotnik go out of his way to kidnap her? Like, what was the basis off of that? So I'm figuring, like, you know, if they didn't actually come up with a reason for her, then you might as well make one up for, like, her when she was younger. And then go off of that. Or if anything, even if she didn't have anything to do with Robotnik when she was younger, you could just say that, you know, she was linked to something very important, like an organization or a special type of group of protectors or something. Like, you could come up with dozens of reasons, but the main thing is, like, give a reason to why Robotnik kidnapped her in the first place. Like, if it was that important, then it's like, oh shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be a point where Vanilla gets to do something badass. I just don't know when. Because one of the biggest obstacles nowadays is Sega, because it wasn't until like recently that Shadow the Hedgehog even got to have more character development. But like before that, Sega was really reluctant on letting certain characters be developed. And this is likely because of Ken Penders. Because basically Ken Penders made it very difficult for people to work on the characters. Because one, ownership of anything new. Two, allowing the characters to be expressed in certain ways. So like, again, like with Sonic, they don't want Sonic to fail very often. So like, he can be given a hardship or like given like a brief moment of like, oh no, something got worse, but they never like want him to express despair type of thing. So it's kind of like, okay, Sega really needs to let go of the leash a little bit more. And yes, I understand they don't want to have like another Ken Penders situation, so they just need to, you know, make sure they have all their ducks in a row and be on top of, like, you know, who owns what and shit like that, make copies of documents just in case some bullshit happens, and go from there. Like, they can allow their characters to grow, they're just afraid for some fucking reason. And again, this is like the whole, I don't know if this is like a Japanese thing or not, but it's like the mentality that Nintendo has, where they don't want characters to grow. Or they don't want to reuse something from the past, for some reason. Like, even if it was popular, they're like, well, we don't want to, you know, go backwards, we want to move forwards. Like, sure, but when you're ignoring things that were good just for the sake of changing it, that doesn't make sense. It's literally like the Star Fox Zero scenario, where they changed the gameplay, like how you play the game, just because, and it didn't help. It's like, you control the plane by moving the controller. It's like, nobody wants to do that though. Like, it made sense for like Splatoon, but that was because Splatoon it has a very unique game design. Or at least it made it easier to do that, so that way you could, you know, aim easier. But in games like Star Fox, that wasn't even necessary. Because Star Fox games are, for the most part, on rails until you're in a more open area. Does this even have a name? Utter TV, huh? I'll probably still put that. I'll put that in a little bit later. This song is great. But yeah, like I said, if I ever somehow gain some form of control over Sonic games, I'll at least try to get them to make some changes here and there. And definitely Ian Flynn's still around, but like, yeah, man, we're working on this. And again, Sonic's more popular in the West, so it would benefit them to make some changes here and there. And we're gonna color her bell gold instead of yellow. But until then, we'll see what they do with Sonic games. Did I get everything other than the other TV thing? Yes. So we'll do that right now. Put another layer just because. Separate. Or I can do it this way. Okay, I think we're good. I just realized you can see her nips kind of through the material, but not by much. Okay. Okay, before I tackle any more of this, I'm probably gonna call it for the night. Thank you everybody for coming. Excuse me. I will probably set this aside for tomorrow, just so we have something to do. I'm going to keep working on other stuff, and I should be posting more Patreon stuff tomorrow. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Thank you for coming, and I will see you next time. All right, take care. Bye bye.